What if I told you that there is a tool that I use to get my practice to 7 figures, build an incredible team, and most importantly, serve a ton of clients every single month? I know it sounds too good to be true, but guys, this video will blow your mind if you're looking to reduce the amount of workload you have in your business, if you're looking to build an actual system that generates new patients, that serves those new patients, that provides training for your team. This system has taken me about 7 years to master and refine. And in this video, I'm going to share every single step of the way. But some of you will feel overwhelmed. If you're someone who's just started in business, you might just apply one of the tools that we're going to discuss today. If you're someone who has built 3, 4, 5 clinics, this thing will blow your mind and it might generate 20, 30, 40% more revenue, serve more patients, and actually improve the ongoing system that you hopefully should have at this stage. So guys, I don't know how to say it in other way, shape or form, but this is one of the best things I've come up with. So without further ado, I am going to reduce, and by the way, this is probably best for those people who are not just listening, but those people who are watching. So put this bad boy on the big screen and watch every single step that we're going to discuss. Now, the overview of this is, we call this the CEO dashboard, the 7-figure scorecard system. The reason I call this a system, this is not just one scorecard. This is a collection of systems, accountability tools, and other trackers that you'll see in a minute that I use from a personal standpoint to a business standpoint, to measuring certain metrics in my business and knowing every single thing that takes place in my practice at any given time. Bearing in mind we do 7 figures and we have a team of 30, 40, 15 full-time team members, it's not easy. So if you don't know how to structure a team and how to set up your organizational chart, how to buy back your time so you can actually give more back to the business, train your team, mentor them, build better systems, then please go and watch back one of the videos that we've talked about on how to build your organizational chart. But for the time being, let's go over this magical thing, the CEO dashboard. If you look at this as a system, you need a way to show how is your business performing on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, on daily basis, and having a way to keep things in terms of accountability and giving people feedback in real time. It's very important not to get to the end of the month to look back and think, oh, we only had 25 new patients. Oh, we only converted at 45%. Oh, we only had 2 people going on to maintenance. No, these are things you should be aware of every single day so you're not kind of chasing your own tail or fighting fires all the time. I'll actually show you exactly what the system looks like in my business, in my company, but we're going to start with a little bit of a bigger picture. So the monthly success tracker is something very, very easy to follow. So this is a tool that if you look at the screen, you might just have the month here, the total turnover, the total expenses, therefore your profit margins, number of new patients, total number of members, and percentage change from last month. And then you have the months. Now, for me, this works really, really, really well because by the time the month ends, I more or less know what's going on because of my other trackers and other systems we use. But this is really important to, in my opinion, be done by the founder because there's something emotional when, and obviously you pay yourself and you pay some family members that might be part of your team, other directors, business partners. So you want to make sure that you understand the bigger picture, but it's also linked to emotion. So if I see, and I'm happy to show you guys, if I see that this year in January we made almost 100K, we had 32% profit margin, which is insane, 109 new patients, but we lost 3.4% growth, so it was actually negative from the previous month's direct debits and members, and again, more complicated video to go over that, but that shows me that there are certain patterns that can only be noticed at the end of the month. I can only measure that metric by the end of the month because it's a monthly metric that I compare to previous month. If you're just starting in practice and you think this is not useful, I'm sorry to say it, but you're wrong. It's very useful. And I wish I started this from day one. 80% of these tools I was lucky enough to be introduced to even before I started my business, but this one I wasn't. I just had to make a very simple spreadsheet and make it quite visually appealing so it's simple and I know exactly what month to month to month looks like in terms of our what we call key metric, which is number of clients that are on memberships. And again, what we define as membership might be different to what you define as membership. So just going back to the bigger picture, this is the monthly tracker. This success tracker is, this is given to our private clients and people that we have in the mastermind, in the Practice Big mastermind. But it could be just another thing that collects dust, or it could be something that you use in a very, very, very practical way that actually makes a difference to your business, to your clients, and builds more success for you in the future and now. The weekly KPI tracker is, I've dedicated another whole training video for this because this is very complex. But if you look at this, these are my actual statistics. So this will get sent to me. This is not something I do, right? This is my team does that. And if we look at, oops, sorry guys, I'm having trouble opening this. If you look at my previous video, you would see that, let's go in full total, that these are numbers that look so complicated right now, but this is a free tool that we give to people, and with that, as soon as you download it, I actually send you a free training video on exactly how to use this. This one tool tells me every single thing about my business. Every single thing, which means that I can provide people with the right training, I can provide people with the right tools to fix the bottlenecks they might have, from chiropractors to massage therapists to management to myself as a founder. Remember, this is very, very important for you as a founder to understand. So that you can see how each step of this scorecard, we're going towards a more refined, more granular level, to the point where we go to our daily tracker. This thing stays open for me on my computer tab. It's one of the 3 things that is open at all times, and it's saved onto, I don't know what you can call that, the tab. And I've gone with you guys, again, this has been explained before. Yes, it might look quite complex. Yes, it might, so for example, now we're February and it has these like tick boxes. I've made my goals and projections impossible not to achieve. Why? Because everything is reverse engineered. If I said, look, I want to hit 1 million this year, but what does that look like? Well, that looks like for quarterly, we need to do something. So every 3 months, this is the goal. It's just maths, statistics. It's boring. No one likes it. But if you have a small practice right now, this stuff is so important because you're starting on the right foot. If you have a big practice or multiple practices, this stuff is even more important. I work with a lot of clinics that maybe get into sort of 30, 40, 50, 60, 70K a month, and they just get stuck there. And it's not because they need to do more volume, they need to just patch that leaky bucket. And you don't know what's leaking until you fully examine your business, until you fully understand what a successful year looks like, quarter, month, week, and day. And you think this might take you a while to set up, but this will save you hundreds of hours, headaches, and money wasted, because you're working on the right stuff. Now, of course, this is my personal one. So at the time of the recording, today's Tuesday, the 18th of Feb. I didn't wake up before 6 o'clock, although this is one of my challenges this month. I drank my water before 9. I have this thing called the big one. I did my morning rehearsal. I planned my day. And this is where it gets really, really cool. The daily CEO dashboard. I do this once a day, sometimes twice. Full transparency, I don't need this tool anymore. I just do it naturally. And I don't necessarily advise people to do that, but I've done this for years and years and years. So what I teach my guys is have a system whereby, I'll just go here actually, what we can do is we can do this, look. Have a system whereby you know what's happened in the month. This one you only check once a month. Weekly tracker, this gets sent to me every single Monday, and then I have my meetings and I set the weekly intentions based on the KPIs. The daily habit tracker, every single morning, it's open on my laptop, and I start with the little to-do list. The SEO dashboard is within my daily habit tracker. So if you saw this, let's just go back to this. You saw I'm going through, these are called habits because it's not about to-do lists, it's about what habits am I trying to build to become the person who runs $1 million company, £1 million company. I'm not trying to say I want to start exercising. I just say I'm a person who exercises. Therefore, it becomes a non-negotiable. It's just, this is how I operate. So I found that psychologically using habits instead of to-dos works really well for me. And you can see I'm just going for the list, and then boom, I get to daily CEO dashboard. So if we look at what that looks like, I've made you the spreadsheet here. And by the way, guys, if you want any of these tools, let me know. Comment below, Tell me if I'm on the right track here and I'm teaching you the right stuff, or if it's just gone, this guy's crazy. Is this what it looks like to run a 7-figure business? It looks easy to me now. It's obviously taken me a while to get to this stage, but I promise you that you'll be 10 times better having some metrics and accountability tools. First for yourself, then for you to teach the person next to you. What that could be your CA, that could be your manager, that could be your spouse in a business, that could be an associate. But also if you don't know how to manage yourself and you don't know what a successful path looks like, you might just spend 10 years of working on the wrong stuff and thinking that the technique you've chosen for chiropractic or the supplements you supply clinic is the most important thing. But if you don't have a predictable system to generate good results for your clients, you're constantly having to rely on new patients. And that's what makes me really sad when I work with businesses and we kind of have to almost train their mindset that it's not necessarily just new patients. It's about building an actual business that relies on people and systems. Not just people, not just systems, but people and systems. And if one of you watching this video applies this strategy, and you take just one part of the video and put it into your business as of Monday next week, I guarantee you it will change your business. And imagine what we do with clients when they come and work with us, more privately or more personally or as part of the mastermind. It just blows their business away. And why? Because this stuff, no one really talks about this. This is how you run a successful business. And the challenge usually is, if I'm a chiropractor and I've been an associate and I start a business, I don't have a business. I've just created a job for myself because I still think as a practitioner, as an operator. And I love being an operator, by the way. I absolutely love doing stuff, but you have to zoom out and understand you are building a business, and a business by definition is something that can survive with or without you. It's a separate enterprise and entity. So, rant is over. We go back to the daily CEO dashboard. And this is what it looks like. Super simple. So for 2025, again, this is just the system that I've come up with. If you're watching this, it doesn't look anything special. If you're using it, you'll understand how important it is. So imagine I'm in my software now. And I say here on the top left, if you see the video, daily 5-minute clinic management software audit. So you're auditing what your team is doing, or even what you're doing. But if you don't know what you don't know what to look for. So I've just given you some indications of the things that you might look at. So let's say today is, the recording of the video today is actually Wednesday. And the first thing you'll check is new patients. Let's just check my software, how many new patients we have. Then you go to your report and you say, okay, 7 new patients booked in today. Checked, yes. How will they rate that? 7 new patients in a day. We've got 5 chiropractor. Yeah, great. I'll say that is a 5 out of 5 rating. Any actions? No, I don't need to do anything about it. ROFs, okay, I've checked all the ROFs. There was 4 ROFs today. 4 ROFs, out of 4 of them, every single patient decided to pay as you go. No one committed to a financial plan. Interesting. Okay, let me just go into the notes. Let me see what's going on with each one. And maybe, as a note, I might say, speak to Kairos about cases. Now this, I don't do this anymore, but if you're starting this, you absolutely need to have some sort of action based on that. And the rating might be, okay, they all took treatment, they all have a forward plan or some sort of appointments booked, but none of them committed financially. So I'm actually going to rate this probably a 1 or 2 out of 5. Okay, and then you come up with your standards as you do that. Special appointments, so I might go to my software and I might check what else is happening with my progress reviews, with my third visits, with my re-examination appointments, with maintenance appointments, and these are kind of just what we call special appointment visits. I've checked that, or you might not have any, and after watching this video you think to yourself, I don't even know what special appointment types looks like, sounds like, and why they're there. So you might just say, not applicable, but maybe I need to think about this. Collections, let's say we took 17K today, I've checked it, good day, could be better, and I don't need to do anything else. You might say collections, we've had you might say we've had £2,000 in refunds today. Well, I'm going to rate that straight back to 0. Notes, speak to manager urgently to have a meeting. To manager urgently. Okay, so you are getting the point. I have certain, we call them assets, certain assets that I check for: new patients, ROF, special appointments, collections, notes. Were the notes done properly by the chiropractors? Were the notes done properly by the CAs? Did it cohesively work so that we communicate well? If not, what do I need to... One of the important lessons here is, yes, I do this because I have a big team now, but I was doing this when I had a team of 1 person, when it was just me and a CA. I would sit down with them and I'll say, hey Lisa, I noticed that you didn't write the notes properly on this report. It says that they took treatment, but it doesn't say why they didn't commit financially. I spoke to a private client this morning. This is exactly what we worked on. She said, oh, hang on, we've had a few reports yesterday and last week, but none of them say why they didn't commit financially, but they all have future appointments and the whole schedule is done. Great. Now it gives training point with management and CAs. And you see the value of these. It's when you're a business owner, you wear a completely different hat compared to an operational person who is adjusting patients and who's only focusing on the patient. Now, there are so many consultants and coaches and gurus out there that will say to you, look, if you look after the patient, you kind of just do the right thing. You can be doing the right thing and you can be absolutely obsessed over the patient. But if you have 3 patients that come every single week and no new patients coming through the door, or those patients who come in leave you after 6 weeks, and they don't leave you good reviews, something is fundamentally wrong with the way you manage your business model. And that's why I say to people, I'm on this mission to absolutely change the landscape of how clinic owners operate and run their businesses, because ultimately it's the patient that suffers when you don't have good systems in place, when you don't have a good strategy in place. Anyways, let's carry on down here, annotations. So this is something we do for our business. Every single patient they might have a certain number or a certain symbol on their name, a certain color coordinated thing, and that just saves us so much workload, which makes our front office very smooth to run, very effective and very efficient. We had someone observing a few weeks ago. They came in with the notepads. They wanted to learn how business is done, and we had 60 to 70 visits in that morning shift, maybe even more, and the phone rang less than 5 times. The front desk phones. And this person was like, are your phones broken? I said, no, why should the phone be ringing all the time? Everything is systemized, everything is automated, and everything is smooth. And this is why. This is how to audit it. So by the way, this sounds like it's been 15, 20 minutes video, but this would actually take you 5 minutes to do every day. Just go and check these assets in your software, and then put action plan to it, so you can actually not do everything yourself, but to delegate to the right person. Why was the diary capacity not done? Okay, so I checked it, but I give it 1 because next week there's no block booking. There's lots of gaps, but actually if you look at it, a new patient cannot physically book. So it's very important to look at this capacity, look at the forms and the feedbacks, what patient said, what are the improvements like, speak to the associates, and then future shifts. Just clicking a few days ahead on my diary always helps to see how can we improve. So guys, I really, really hope this was helpful. I'm sure that some of you would not care at all about this, and some of you will look at this and think, wow, what a tool. What an amazing piece of systematically understanding where am I winning, where am I losing, where am I leaving money on the table, why am I not providing as good service as I know my patients deserve, and this is what it looks like to run a successful clinic. I'm not showing off here, but we are at the top 1%, if not top 0.1%, especially here in the UK, of building practices that serve lots of people and also serve the team. And I call it the happy triangle. The founder is happy, the most importantly client is happy, and the team that you have is happy. And then you have a project that is fulfilling, that is meaningful, and it has an impact. Thank you for watching. Any questions, do let me know. Please don't forget to subscribe. This is really, really important to us to hopefully share this with many, many, many clinic owners. And see you guys next time.